All right, there's one formula the other day we didn't have time to finish up, and that's current yield of a bond, and the formula is right here. So basically, this is saying, you know, if you make, $80 as far as an annual interest payment, every year you get $80 in interest, and the current price of the bond, say, is, you know, worth $800. Right, then if you divide that, you're going to get that, which again would be a 10% yield. All right, now sometimes we don't want to solve formulas always in one direction. All right, and so sometimes we want to find it in an opposite direction. Now again, remember, bond prices are usually based on points, all right, which means a percentage of the face value, and the face value is typically $1,000. So if you have something that's I don't know, 105, so 105 points, then you need to kind of think of that as like that percent, or sorry, all right, and so it's 105%, okay, of $1,000, right? And so now I want to convert that to a decimal times 1,000, which ends up being that this is the value. So when you think of points, think of it as same thing as percent. Word points, percent, same thing. Even when you buy a house, we use points sometimes in the terminology. And again, assume the face value is $1,000. So if you convert that to a decimal and take it times 1,000, that is the actual value dollar-wise of that bond. All right, so say that you want to find the annual interest. So say you actually want to figure out that amount. So your question is asking you to find the annual interest payment. So that's the question. Okay, and say that you know that it closes, so at the end of the stock market day, I guess it closes at 105.97 points, right? And that the annual yield, so your annual yield, which is just the percent, is what, 3.7%. Okay, so I want to figure out this. So you have to, first of all, let's deal with this part right there, right? And I'm just going to change colors here. Come here, maybe if I can. All right, so first let's deal with the points. All right, so remember that's really 105.97%. And again, you assume the value is $1,000. So we're going to convert that to a decimal times $1,000, all right, which is going to move the decimal right over there. All right, so that's the value of your stock in money. All right, and then what else do you want to know? Well, you know 2 out of 3. You know the current yield, you know the current price, but you don't know the annual interest payment. So we're going to set that up. So the current yield, again, write it as a decimal. Again, I'm going to switch colors again here. Sorry. All right. So the yield is 0.037. You want to write it as a decimal. And that's that part. Annual interest payment, I'm going to call that I. I don't know what that is. And then the current price of my stock, I do know what that is. Okay, again, remember in algebra, if you're dividing and you want to get rid of that, you'd multiply both sides. Or if you like cross multiplying, you can cross multiply and then divide by 1, which isn't going to do anything. So basically, you're going to multiply both sides by that dollar amount. Okay, and then these will cancel. And then you can just multiply those, and dividing by 1 doesn't do anything, or you might not have even written that in the first place. So then if you multiply, you get an interest payment of, what is that, $39.21. So $39.21. So this formula, you can solve it forwards and get the percent yield. Or you can, if you know the yield, the annual yield, then you can go back and figure out the amount of money you would have had in interest.